You know, the inspiration for this whole process started with Straight Outta Compton. It's weird, I know. I'm this white dork from Canada and you wouldn't expect that that's what would come out of my mouth. And I thought about this, by the way, before I started doing all of this press. I thought about how I would be honest and tell this story, but it was the truth. My manager called me like 10 times and said, Mike, you gotta see this movie. You gotta see this movie. He'd seen it 3 times in the theater. And he took me to the theater and I didn't know what to expect. And I understand there was a social issue that they were talking about. I got that, and a political issue. And while I obviously saw that and I digested that, what inspired me was I saw these 4 young cats who loved each other, and they had created an environment for themselves where they could really say the things that they wanted to say and enjoy doing it, and had each other's backs. And you know, there was a confidence that came from all of them believing in themselves and one another and fighting for each other. And it was like, you know, listen, I've been lucky. I've worked with the greatest producers in the world, fancy, gigantic producers, and this record, it was the first time I wanted to have more control, so I produced it myself and with my bandmates. The guys I've played on stage with for 15 years, my friends, my peers, you know, they grew up with me and could literally finish my sentences and stood up there in front of thousands of people every night and fought with me, right? And it was just different.
Don't be cool, but don't be too nice, 'cause I want you.
I mean, the fact is that I have a deep love for jazz music and a deep appreciation and reverence for it. And what I think is so special about jazz music is that it was created and the seed that was planted by African Americans and Africans grew and branched off into the most incredible tree of what we would consider now as R&B or hip hop or rap. I mean, you can just go through the list and it's like, this is where it came from. And so on my record, when I have a single like Nobody But Me, and I've got Black Thought, I've got Tweet Trotter doing a freestyle and whatever, people call it rap, whatever they want to call it. And they think, and it weirds them out because they go like, well, wow, isn't that weird for Michael Bublé? It is so not weird. It is such a natural progression of what I love. It is from what I love. It is all come from the same place. And so I feel like it perfectly mixes and blends. And it's like, that's what great art is taking from everyone and making it your own in some way.
I don't want anybody.
Well, the fact that I got to meet Harry and One Direction when I was a judge years ago now on that television show, and I just always thought they were great guys. I really did. I mean, they had this great, huge success, but they never let it get to their heads. They were down to earth, very normal. You know, I truly stayed in contact and spent a lot of time with them and enjoyed my time with them. And with Meghan, she was somebody that when she came out with All About the Bass, I thought, wow, this is a great song, great singer. Oh, she wrote that, okay. And then the more I found out, the more I liked. And when I actually started in the studio, I was with a guy named Johan Carlson who helped produce the record, and he said to me, you know, Mike, Meghan's manager has asked if you'd listen to a song that her and Harry Styles wrote. And I did, and I loved it. Someday, and I loved it. And I said, can I talk to Meghan? And he called her on FaceTime, and I talked to her, and she was just as lovely as you think she is. And but it turns out Meghan isn't who I thought Meghan was, and that's the truth. I thought Meghan was a very talented, young, green kid, who had great success and obviously deserved it. What I didn't know was that she was the most talented 21-year-old on the planet. What I didn't know was that she's not just a great singer, nor just a great entertainer, not that she's not just a great writer, not just that she's a great musician, plays many different instruments, but the fact is she's also an incredible producer. And I think that's what will blow people away in the future, as it should now.
You're the light that lifts me higher, so bright you got me through. I believe in you.